Let this be your sign to invest in some better tools before working with butcher blocks. My borrowed Ryobi tools were quite literally screaming at me. But anyways, come along with me to make the world's tiniest butcher block counter. Our sink is the size of a bar sink, so it's quite small, and it takes up basically the entire opening of the upper cabinet. So we have to build the world's smallest butcher block counter. When I first started cutting into it with my jigsaw, the blade straight up would not go anywhere, and it was a brand new blade, so we had to go buy a longer blade, and that did the trick, but it did take a lot of muscle strength. This project reminded me a lot of whenever we cut the holes in our van to put in the windows, but I traded out the metal shavings for sawdust. 500 years later, it was a perfect fit. But here's the thing, I made another mistake. The first mistake I made was that cardboard cutout that they gave with the sink was actually for an undermount sink, so I was wondering why it took so many tries and so much sanding to get it down perfectly. It's because it's supposed to go under the counter, not on top of the counter. But that's fine, because my cut was not perfect and there's no way I would have been able to get it to my liking to look pretty if I had mounted the sink underneath the counter. And here's where things go wrong again. We glued on the counter with wood glue. We waited one day before we screwed in the screws for the L brackets, and as I was adjusting my hands, David screwed in the screw and it lifted the entire counter. And here's me wanting to crawl into a hole after that. This is the part where it gets really frustrating, because in order to put in the sink, we have to have the counter completely installed, because we will have such little space inside the cabinet to be able to work with any screws. So there's no fixing it later unless we want to pry up the sink out of the counter with the silicone. When I tell you things are tight, they're tight. They are literally, we are talking 1 centimeter. And for the grand finale, the washer will not fit to secure the faucet.